Well, how does she know who she's attracted to? They all look the same.
Dawson, they're unlike people.
You mean people don't find mates by insects?
Meaning that the people go by whatever supermodel that the media describes to be this week's perfect specimen.
Oh. I beg to differ. I don't need entertainment tonight to tell me Drew Barrymore's hot.
20th century men are conditioned to worship women who are nutritionally deprived heroin addicts. In the Renaissance, they like women who are husky. And in some cultures, they like women with bones in their noses and plates in their mouths. It's just the way it goes, Dawson.
You're reaching. You know, maybe there is some truth of what you're saying, but you can't tell me that pure animal instinct doesn't have something to do with what kind of guy you're attracted to, right?
I haven't the slightest idea, Dawson.
I don't wanna wait for our lives to be over. I want to know right now, what will it be? I don't wanna wait for our lives to be over. Will it be yes or will it be sorry? You know that if we are to stay alive and see the love in every eye.
It's a blue-blooded tradition that celebrates the grand achievement of being born rich. A culmination of which is an asinine formal dinner held at the yacht club where some young vile whose own daddy's own bank account is crowned as windjammer. It's the most archaic display of ageism, racism, and sexism known to man.
Do they have a swimsuit competition?
Well, I'm afraid my baton twirling days are over.
Well, first prize is $5,000 and a trip to New York.
Why don't you enter, Dawson? I'm sure you have some inspiring ideas on how to achieve world peace.
World peace is easy. It's the tap dance and pumps I have trouble with.
Why don't you just get over it, man? She has.
Well, I think I have gotten over it. I don't know. Winning her back has dissolved into some sort of bizarre hobby.
Look, Joey, now that the proverbial wedge recently referred to as Dawson Leary is no longer between us, we could actually be friends. I know, it's a bizarre concept, but we may find we have something more in common than just the boy next door.
Joey rolls her eyes.
Okay, or not.
Joey begins to walk away and stops and thinks for a second.
We don't have to, wash each other's hair or do each other's nails, do we?
Casey! I can't find my pen.
You okay?
Yeah, I just spent the entire morning with my dad telling me what a scholastically inept, athletically challenged, underachieving loser I am. I'm fine. You don't need an assistant for that beauty pageant thing, do you?
I'm not even getting paid. The only person making any money off this thing is little Miss Windjammer herself.
Maybe I'll just toss my tiara into the ring. You know, a $5,000 reward. That would get me into one of those executive bachelor pads downtown.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid your God-given ability to relieve yourself standing up is going to keep you out of this one.
Once again, sexual discrimination rears its ugly head. But wouldn't that just piss my dad off? Cut to the bacteria. See ya.
It's funny, Joey, but when I realized I was dating Dawson, I was petrified that any day he'd take the blinders off and realize how gorgeous you are.
Yeah, right. Guys look at me, they think, wow, what a babe. When they look at me, they think, gee, she's really tall.
You know, I think you should enter the Miss Windjammer pageant.
So I see you decided to enter after all.
No, I'm just here to coach.
Who are you coaching?
Look, I'll see you guys later, okay? I'm going to go watch Pacey make an ass out of himself.
Very funny. Is this some kind of expose for the paper? Get out! Joey Potter entering a beauty contest? This is classic!
Oh, I see. You think I'm such a barking car chaser that a D student with a Julius Caesar haircut has a better shot than me? Thanks a lot.
Joey, no! I know how you feel about these things. This is not you. Why did you tell me?
Because I knew you'd make me feel like an even bigger idiot than I already am. Believe me, Dawson, you're always laughing harder at this than I am. But unfortunately, the opportunity to win $5,000 No matter how slim or humiliating or ludicrous my chances are, you know money has to take precedence over everything, and winning my college education does.
Joey, I didn't know you were serious about this. I mean, you kind of caught me by surprise.
You know, I'm glad you find my pathetic life so amusing, Dawson.
Joey. Come on, you're my best friend. I never laughed at you.
You just did, Dawson.
Is it Hannah Von Winning of the Barrel Harbor Von Winnings?
Casey Ritter, let me guess. You're here washing dishes for the remedial work study program for Cape Side's underprivileged youth?
Oh, that's so compassionate of you, Hannah.
Wait, you're the guy entering the pageant? Figures. Class clown of Cape Side High. You know, I never figured you for the pre-op transsexual, but now that I think about it, evening gown, high heels...
Hey, I assure you my sexuality is intact, okay? I'm not the one taking group showers at an all-girls school.
Why don't you just go and hang out with the Cape Side Pep Club? I mean, associating with me won't exactly send your popularity points soaring up the Richter scale.
The same reason you don't, all right? They're a bunch of mentally arrested airheads. You know, your perception of me is almost as misguided as your perception of yourself.
Ooh.
True facts.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it.
Pacey, can you do anything else?
Work on the talent problem later. What are we going to do about evening wear?
Well, actually, I could get my hands on this tasty little red polyester number that my sister wore as a bridesmaid.
Pacey, if you want to win this thing, you got to take it seriously. If you win, the press is going to be all over this thing. CNN? I mean, it's going to be international news.
I mean, by breaking this experiment, you become a political activist, challenging social stereotypes.
I kind of just want to make some extra cash.
Dawson will always see me as the gawky little girl down the creek with band-aids on her knees and one braid falling out. I don't know, maybe that's how it's supposed to be.
Pacey, I know you're obsessed about this little theory of yours, but the truth is I've never thought of Joey in a romantic context. I've always thought of her as like a sister. I just don't think I could get past that. Tell us something about yourself.
I'd like to study early education or help the children with special needs. That means when they're crippled or retarded. or maybe I'll become an actress or a model because a lot of people keep telling me I'm pretty enough. Pacey, let me ask you something. Do you really think in a million years you could ever win this thing? I mean, what is the point?
Well, maybe I don't have a chance at winning. But if I could take just one vote away from you and make you know what it feels like to be a loser, then this is all worthwhile.
Yeah, but there must be things that you'll miss. I mean, family, friends.
Of course. But life goes on, Dawson. Things change.
They don't have to.
Yes, they do! Everything changes eventually. It's just the way life is and you have no control over it. Like suddenly people who you think are always going to be there, they disappear, you know? People die and they move away and they grow up. Everything changes eventually, Dawson.
Welcome to the Miss Windjammer Beauty Pageant.
Come on, Jen. I mean, it's pretty obvious you're missing the undivided attention of our friend Dawson. Maybe feeling a little dumper's remorse.
You're way off, all right?
Tell me, is it the possibility of losing him to someone else that suddenly makes him seem so attractive?
You really think I'm that shallow, huh?
No, I think you're that human. I would tell the world's leaders that a society that chooses war and death over the preservation of life cannot possibly succeed or thrive. And I guess if that didn't work, I'd just tell them I had dirty photos of them, yeah? Am I right? I know.
I'm not even in the running?
So you know these people would rather see this all go down in flames before they would actually crown a male Miss Windjammer.
Yeah, but for me to be written off is just completely unfair.
Honey, fair and beauty pageants aren't exactly synonymous.
Singing on my own from Les Miserables, Miss Josephine Potter.
And not just our friendship, but I guess what I'm trying to say is... on my own, pretending he's beside me, all alone, I bond with him till morning,
I'm not William Wallace, but I am Pacey Witter.
Pacey Winter's 7 feet tall.
So they say! So they say! And they say that this Pacey Witter is a dangerous man who slaughters Capeside residents by the dozen with his bare hands. And if he were here, he would destroy those who judge him with sparks from his eyes and wit from his arse. And I am willing to betray the trappings of my dysfunctional life for one chance, just one chance, to stand in front of my fellow countrymen and tell them that you may take my life, but you will never take my freedom!
She won't win, but if she does, it's because she's a total charity case.
What do you mean?
Oh my god, check it out. She lives in a trailer with her sister who just had an illegitimate baby with her black boyfriend.
Joey, I know we're not speaking right now, okay? But if we were, I would tell my best friend, who is always afraid to get up in front of class for show and tell, how incredibly proud I am of her. How I think she has got more guts and talent and strength of character than all the Hannah Bonny winnings in the world put together.
For your final question, Miss Potter, please tell us what words of advice you would bestow upon today's youth.
I'd like to tell today's youth that no matter where life takes you, big cities, small towns, you'll inevitably come across small minds. I'd like to tell today's youth that none of these things matter unless you have strength of character, integrity, sense of pride. And if you're lucky enough to have any one of these things, don't ever sell them. Don't ever sell out. So when you meet a person for the first time, please don't judge them by their station in life. Because who knows? That person just might end up being your best friend. Thank you.
Our second runner-up and 2 tickets to the Rialto for any Tuesday or Thursday matinee is Miss Hannah Von Winning.
Oh, she is such a reward.
Our first runner-up and winner of a free day of beauty at Betty's Hair Barn is Miss Josephine Potter. The winner of this year's Miss Windjammer is Miss Roberta Crow.
It's all right. I do my best.
Some kids need a ride home?
No, we'll walk.
Okay, good night.
Good night, Mama.
Good night, honey.
It's the first time in my life I've been completely speechless. What's happening, Joey?
I don't know.
Jen walks up in time to see Dawson take Joey's hand and they sit on a bench.
You get nominated for an Oscar twice.
Look at you. It's like you transformed into this beautiful goddess.
Dawson.
God, I mean, I'm sitting here with my best friend in the world. My palms are sweating. I've known you forever, but I feel like I'm seeing you for the first time tonight.
I want you to look at me and see the person you've always known and realize that what we have is so much more incredible than some passing physical attraction because, you know what, Dawson? This is just lipstick. And this is just hairspray. Tomorrow I'm just going to wake up and I'm going to be Joey. Just Joey, the too tall girl from the wrong side of the creek.
Joey, this is all new. We should talk about it, no matter what happens. We can't go back to the way things were.
Dawson, you've had a lifetime to process your feelings for me, and I can't spend the rest of my life hoping that you might throw a general glance in my direction between all the torture team romances when every Jen Lindley rolls around. I don't even know. Is it too late to ask for another chance?
God, Jen, you're kidding.
I couldn't be more serious.
God, Jen!
I guess I got the answer.
Well, it's just that, you know, now's really not the best time. I don't know, I kind of... There's something I need to figure out first.
Okay. Well, you know where I am.
How can I forget?
Good night, Dawson.
Good night, Jen.
Cut to Joey's room. Cut to Dawson's rooms. He's smiling too.
So open up your morning light and say a little prayer for I. You know that if we are to stay alive and see the peace in every